since then, there's, as we've noted, there was a second mass shooting there.
So no plans at this time to preview about a presidential travel to California. You saw his statement. I just kind of read part of his statement. His heart goes out to the families, to the victims of the families, and we will continue to fight to make sure we deal with this issue. We deal with gun violence. We started with the executive actions, the historic executive actions that the president was able to do the first 2 years of his administration. We were able, again, as I mentioned, sign a bipartisan piece of legislation to deal with gun violence, but we need to do more. We need to do a lot more, and so the president's going to continue to call for that. I don't have anything to preview about a trip.
Yeah, and you were kind of alluded to this, or asked a little bit about this, but what is the strategy now to pass the assault weapons ban that Feinstein introduced? I mean, you're talking, of course, about a Republican-led House now, and so how? I mean, what can the White House do to actually overcome those numbers there?
Yeah, and one thing I just want to go back to on California, the president has been in touch with local and state leaders, and his team continues to offer support to the local government and clearly Governor Newsom's team in any way that we can to be helpful to what they're dealing with today, this week, I should say. Look, it is a priority for the president. It really is. That's why he's taken executive actions. That's why his team has worked with Congress on this bipartisan legislation that was passed several months ago, and he'll continue to do that. And I think if you all remember, and many of you reported this, that how difficult it was going to be for the president to get any bipartisanship the first 2 years of his administration, and he was able to get historic pieces of legislation done. And so the president says this all the time. He's optimistic, and I think optimism is very important to this president. But at the same time, he's going to continue to ask Congress to act, and he's going to continue to see what other executive actions can be taken from here. But at the end of the day, we need Congress to act. We need legislation that can be signed into law to deal with a matter that is really tearing apart communities.